Here we go. Here we go.
Now it's your turn.
We're already going.
No, it was your turn to sing the Here We Go. You don't want to do it? Fine. No. Whatever.
Nope. More needful things. Hello from New Hampshire. Beautiful, sunny, 70 degrees day. You know what? It's not even 70 here in Las Vegas. I just have to say, there was a news report today. Yes, I am complaining. I apologize. There was a news report today. We are in it's like 40-year history making right now how cold our weather has been. We're about 2 to 3 months behind normal weather here in Las Vegas. And some people love it because it's usually very, very warm by now. We're usually in the 90s and up to 100 in the hundreds by now. And we're not even out of sweatshirt weather here right now. It's
but it teases us because every once in a while it's like, oh, we're going to give you 90+ degree weather for a couple of days.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it drops again 20 degrees. Like when we first came back from freezing our butts off in Rhode Island, it was 91, 92 degrees for 2 days. And then it immediately dropped it back down to 60s. So it's been nuts.
Yeah, it's low 70s today. It's gray, it's overcast. It's been super windy since last fall. The weather since last fall has been crazy. I've only lived here for 6 years, but I can tell you the last year of weather here has been insane. Anybody who does not believe in global weather change or global warming or whatever you want to call it is crazy, because it is different everywhere you live. I'm telling you. We have friends that, I have friends that have lived here their whole lives, and they say that this weather pattern that we've been in for the last year to 2 years is like nothing they've ever seen before. So it's crazy.
Have you ever seen the movie Day After Tomorrow? It's pretty much happening, guys.
Yeah.
So we could go into an ice age, and then we're going to have to escape to South America. So it's pretty much probably going to happen. That's in Jake Gyllenhaal. So
well, I mean, he's pretty eye candy. I suppose we could go to.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's a pretty boy.
Yeah, he could be my BFF.
He could be.
Yeah, I think so.
Mary Mobley just moved from Vegas to Florida. Well, that's a culture shock right there. You got lots of bugs and sticky humidity in Florida.
Yeah.
But it's warmer in Florida.
Jerry in the house. What's up, Jerry Pendleton? I see a lot of people here that aren't always here for every show. So I'm super excited to see everybody. Oh, and Dorothy too. What?
Jerry Pendleton.
That's
Jerry,
right. That's literally what I just
said.
I know.
I'm just saying, Jerry. I miss you because I was reading something. Jerry, I miss you. I hope you're feeling better, honey. He's been real sick.
Right in the middle of moving too. So Katka says that you look like you've lost 20 pounds.
You are my new favorite viewer, Katka. I don't know who you are, but God, I love you.
And you look like you're 10 years younger.
I must be the lack of sleep I'm getting. No, but I have been dieting, aka making myself hangry every day. But no, I've been dieting for the past 3 weeks. I will say I'm down 12 pounds, not 20, 12. Not quite enough yet to make a difference, but I appreciate you saying that. I'm starting to feel a little bit of a difference. I do feel better.
Yeah, indeed.
I have a ways to go. Like I said before, I think I said it on the show before. I'm that typical. I battle the same 30 pounds every 2 years, up and down. 30 pounds, up and down, up and down. It's like clockwork. It's the same battle.
I stole your mug.
You did. You stole my mug.
Who gave this to you?
A really nice lady that we met in Portland. I'm having a mind blank. Kathleen, thank you.
Yeah, see?
Thank you. It was Kay. I was going Kelly. It's not Kelly. It's not Kelly.
Kathleen, if you watch,
Kathy. I'm sorry,
if
Kathleen.
you watch this show, I stole the mug because the thing is, I make my coffee with the French press, and I only make enough for myself because she doesn't like it because it's super strong, super dark. And but I make just the right amount to fill up one of these mugs, and it's the perfect amount of coffee for me. So I had to steal it because it's we only have a few. We only have a few mugs that are this size, so I had to steal it.
So good morning, everyone, or good afternoon to our East Coast peeps.
And I see a lot of our local people too. So Lorna's coming next week.
Yay!
Next week, week and a half from now. So not next Monday, but the Monday after that. So Dorothy and Corey and you
coming up right before my birthday.
Yeah. So you guys are definitely going to have to get together with us for some of that time that she's here. I'm sure she's going to want to see everybody.
Not really intermittent fasting. I'm very, it's 95% paleo as far as just eating clean and very conscious of my calorie intake. So, 1,100 calories or so, or a little less, a little fewer a day. And
Stopping yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically it's not. It's more than enough for a body to function on.
Whatever.
But yeah, lean proteins and greens and very few fruits. That's it.
Yeah.
Lots of green vegetables and meat and occasional almonds.
Meat.
It's not very exciting.
Well, I've been enjoying
no cheese.
Skittles. This is my new jam. Well, it's not a new jam. Every once in a while I get some of these, but juicy fruit. So they have these juicy fruit chews. It's gum. This is like a mix, but they have like the ones that are just the juicy fruit flavor, but they're sugar free because they have xylitol in them, and they're actually really yummy. But you used to be able to get like the big bags like this at like Walmart, but now it's like you gotta get them online and it's super expensive. But when you could get them locally, it was only like $7. So I happened to be there and I went and looked, and they didn't have the regular juicy fruit, but they had this weird little mix, and I was like, what? What is that?
That's as close as I get to a Skittle. I've been having a couple of pieces of the xylitol gum.
It's actually really good. Xylitol is like a good sugar substitute because it doesn't taste like all aspartame-y. But anyway, I saw this. I was just super excited because it's like it's got the regular juicy fruit flavor, but then it has grape, which is like my favorite flavor other than lime, and then it has strawberry and watermelon, which is I'm like yuck. So I got 2 bags of this, and then I went through and like basically separated out all of the regular flavor and the grape and put it in one bag, and all the strawberry and watermelon in another bag, and I gave it to her. And but they're really yummy, and the grape is really super yummy.
I wouldn't know. I didn't get any of the grape.
Yeah, go get your own. You will be happy with what you get, woman.
I know. So yeah, no Skittles for the time being. Listen, I'm not, my birthday is in a few weeks, and I will cheat on my birthday. So
Chris says careful, xylitol is bad for dogs. Yeah, xylitol is super, super toxic.
We're really careful about what our dogs can't get at any stuff they're not supposed to get at.
Yeah, so they won't get their hands on their little greedy paws on my xylitol gum. But yes, it is super, super toxic to dogs. Not good. Kara segregated candy. I don't like watermelon or strawberry flavored things. I think they're gross. Real watermelon, boring. Real strawberries, I like. But the flavored stuff, yuck. Anyway, all right. So Cheryl says buy them now before the postal increase. Let's talk about the postal increase. Are you guys aware of, it was covered, I think, when they had put out their big long thing of all the postal changes that were supposed to happen in January. And this is just one that is going into effect in June. It's like, I believe, June 23rd. And so the announcement just came up, I believe yesterday, it just appeared in the, if you look on your seller dashboard on the overview page, you'll see there's a place for announcements. Just look, it's in different places on different people's screens.
You also should get an email. I actually got an email in my messages and your eBay messages from eBay telling you about it today. If you haven't gotten it before, you should have it. I got one today. I don't know if everyone else has gotten one in their eBay messages. That will give you the link to what's on your seller dashboard too. So it's also in, for those of you that actually go to the eBay message boards, I know that it's few and far between, but if you do happen to go to the eBay message boards, the information is there as well. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like we said, it did come out in January. That they kind of alluded to it, but now it's actually imminent. It's happening within the next 4 weeks or so. So we need to make sure that you guys are aware of it and know how it's going to impact your business. And
so, well, and the thing is, this is where, shipping is one of the more complicated parts of being a reseller. We've talked about this before, but we are all business owners. And especially if you're doing this for more than just a hobby, if this is really your business and it's supporting you, it is your responsibility to know what your costs are and to understand when changes happen out of your control, but you have to understand how it's going to impact your business, how it's going to change costs for you. And it may not change anything for you at all. For me, actually, this change probably will never impact me at all. There's nothing about it that touches on anything I ship because of what I ship. That's the only reason why. So for me, I'm super, super lucky, and it's not going to increase my costs. But
it's not just your big stuff. It's not just your heavy stuff. I should say it's your big items. So if you sell hard goods,
it's about big items.
If you sell big items that are bigger that are going to need to be in a box bigger than 12 by 12 by 12, your shipping costs, and you live on either side of the country. If you live in the middle of the country, this is not going to affect you quite as much. But if you live on either side of the country, or if you live, say, in Alaska or Hawaii, this is going to affect you astronomically. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this to you. If you look at the increases are as much as 600%. I'm not lying, 600% on large items. So that being said, we've talked about this before. There is a reason why you should not be using calculated shipping on large items.
Yeah. So Kara wants to know if pirate ship and eBay label rates will change. Yeah, they're going to have to change because it's the post office that's demanding this change in costs. I did contact pirate ship. Yes, it will. They go based on what the post office says and what the post office rates are. So it will automatically change. And so basically, we're going to show you the update. We're going to show you the really nice graphics that eBay put together to make it really clear how this works. But bottom line is this is going to affect anything you ship that's more than a cubic foot in size. To give you an idea, I'm going to bring this out.
Don't panic yet. Let us get to the explanation.
Don't freak out.
And let us answer some questions and let us explain the particulars before you freak out. Okay? But it is serious. There's a few things you need to start. You need to make sure that you have in your items, in all of your items, you need to have your dimensions. You need to know what your dimensions are for your items. Don't worry about your clothing. Don't worry about your shoes necessarily. You're not generally going to have a lot of shoes and clothing that are going to need boxes that are bigger than 12 by 12 by 12.
Let me show you visually. So I always bust out this priority shoe box when I'm talking about cubic priority, which you got to understand, cubic priority has nothing to do with this new dim weight thing. Cubic priority only goes up to 0.5 cubic feet. So it's half a cubic foot. This new pricing is only going to affect things that are more than 1 cubic foot. Okay, so it's basically not even going to touch that. So this is slightly less than half a cubic foot. So imagine a package that's like a little over double this size. Okay, so just visually, if you double this box right here, you're getting real close to where that limit's going to be, where things are going to change. It's going to affect the pricing. Anything under that, it's going to be exactly the same as it's been in the past.
Priority flat rate is not changing. No.
Let's go ahead and share the screen. And
for once, actually, I have to give eBay credit. Their explanation that they have on your seller hub, which is exactly what we're going to share with you right now, is very easy to understand. They've explained it very well with very good visual aids, and this is the best way for you to understand it.
Yeah. All right. So this is basically going to affect. It's not going to affect flat rates. It's not going to affect cubic priority. What it's going to affect is anything that you would normally just send straight priority that's based on weight and zone that you're going to. This is going to change how they potentially calculate the cost of that.
I'm going to answer one question here first, and then I'll explain to you why in a moment. Picky Pants, the reason why someone does not want to do calculated shipping is because calculated shipping is only going to factor in zip code and your dimensional weight. If you have something in here that is 15 by 15 by 15 and weighs 3 pounds, and you live in California and you're shipping it to New York, it's going to show a postage cost of something like $65. That's why.
Yeah.
And there are many other ways that you can ship that item that will cost you a lot less rather than using U.S. Postal Service priority rates. So that's the reason why.
Yeah.
If you don't want to learn the other ways to ship your items as opposed to just using straight flat calculated shipping, then by all means, let your sales go to other people. But that's the reason why you need to learn the various options that you have available for you, because you are automatically going to lose sales to sellers that are savvy about shipping.
Yeah. It doesn't take into account all those things that could be sent cheaper through flat rate, through cubic priority. There are shoes that weigh enough that if I sent them to New York, they're going to cost 17 something dollars if I had calculated shipping, but I can send them cubic priority for less than $9. So I'm really increasing. If I'm charging for shipping using a calculated rate, I'm telling buyers they have to pay me over $17, when in reality, I'm only going to spend less than $9. So it's just adding unnecessary costs.
It's not just pirate ship, it's also FedEx. Yes, FedEx rates have gone up. FedEx rates have actually gone up already in anticipation of this. FedEx has already increased their rates. So if you don't know how to use FedEx Ground already or FedEx Home Delivery, I suggest you learn how to do it. eBay offers it directly. And if you have a high enough volume, I suggest getting on the phone with FedEx and creating your own business account, because your discount pricing that you get through FedEx may be better than what you're receiving through eBay.
Christiane, you make an awesome point, but she says the way I look at it, buyers will choose our stuff because we're in the know. And this is where I really try to stress. I get that shipping is really complicated, and I get that you wish it would be like Mercari or Poshmark, where they make it super simple, their shipping costs and the way they do it. But you know what? The bonus is, if you really truly understand how shipping works and you understand the best ways for you to ship, it gives you a huge edge over other sellers on eBay. It really, really does. It's going to make you able to succeed as a business owner much better than some other sellers. All right, you want to talk about what the update says?
Okay, so basically, it's saying that larger packages are being affected. So basically, all the zones are affected. You know, zone 1 through zone 8. It's dimensional weight. Dim weight stands for dimensional weight, and it's calculated by taking all the sides of the package. So say your package is 12 inches on one side, 18 inches on another side, 5 inches on another side. So you're going to take 12 by 18 by 5. Is that what I just said? 12.
Well, we're going to show it visually.
We're going to show you how to do it. You don't need to do this math all the time. You just need to have an understanding of how it works. Okay. So basically, this is going to affect you for Priority Mail, Priority Mail Express. And I know that most people don't use Priority Mail Express, but you do need to know it's going to affect those rates. And Parcel Select. Again, Parcel Select is not something that you're going to choose all the time, but sometimes you do choose it on the heavier items. Most of the time, FedEx is better than Parcel Select as far as pricing, depending on where you live in the country.
Yeah. Judy, we'll get to your question once we're done getting through this, but I'll address that in a minute. Let's just show what this looks like. So basically, knowing your dimensional weight. So
we just read exactly what it says. Scroll up for a second.
Okay, so basically how choosing the right size box can save you money. So you just need to be super, super aware of like when these changes happen. And here's the thing, once this all goes into effect and like Pirate Ship has everything, changed on their site, that's when it's going to be really helpful to use their rates page, because you can plug in all your numbers. Like when you're listing an item and you want to know how much is this going to cost me to ship once I actually sell it, you're going to want to know that. And if you're questioning, oh, is this going to be big enough that this is going to affect it, you're going to want to go in and test that out and see, and they'll tell you like, oh, here's the cheapest it's going to go.
Mary, to answer your question, if you go right to your seller hub, somewhere on your seller hub, you have eBay announcements. It depends on how you have your hub set up. You have eBay announcements, and it should be right there. If you click on today's announcement, it's dated, I think, yesterday. This is the attachment that is with that announcement.
Yeah.
Cubic rates may be increasing along with this. It's just not increase. We don't know exactly what the increases are yet, but yes, Pirate Ship will be increasing their pricing as well.
So basically what they're saying is that with carriers, they're saying that these large, lighter weight items are taking up a lot of space on their trucks and stuff like that, which I can kind of get, because if you're only going by weight, and let's say you're shipping something that's only 1.5 pounds, but you have it in an enormous box, you're barely paying anything for shipping, and it's taking up a large amount of room on their trucks that they're shipping it across the country in. So I do understand like logically why they're doing this.
It has actually been increasing quite a bit over the last year or so. You may have been seeing these increases on items going to zone 8. You've seen things, just the difference between 1 and 2 pounds from zone 1 to zone 8. When you're looking at a package that is bigger than 12 by 12 by 12, used to be just a few pennies difference. And now sometimes, say I'm shipping something from here in Nevada to somewhere in New York, and the price difference is like an $8 difference sometimes between 1 pound and 2 pounds. That wasn't always the case. It was usually like $1 difference. Yeah. So, what they're telling you is that those bigger items that weigh less don't matter. It doesn't matter. It matters the size of the package, not the weight of the package. Yeah. And the way that they're going to calculate your package is based on the size and the weight, basically. So you're going to be charged based on whichever is greater.
Well, let's go through it.
Whichever costs more.
Teresa has a link to the announcement. Sandra posted a link to the eBay shipping calculator. Teresa, would you go to the Pirate Ship page and post the link, click on that thing that says rates and post the link to that? Because I think that's like a really good rate calculator because it takes into account like cubic priority and everything. I think everybody should be using that. Barb, $7 super chat. Barb says, thanks to you, great chicks. I've saved a fortune in shipping using Pirate Ship, and now I'm doing my own international shipping. Love your shows. Awesome. Thank you, Barb, for the super chat. I'm sorry you can't see Vicky rolling her eyes, but she is doing it, I promise. Anyway, so let's just start with dim weight. When they use that to calculate your costs, it's only going to apply to parcels larger than a cubic foot. So it actually is pretty easy to calculate it. If you even make like a little note for yourself that says anything larger than 1,728 cubic inches, and then basically all that is each side multiplied by each other. So you just take your three sides. So in this case, 18 by 14 by 12 equals 3,024 cubic inches. So automatically, you know, dim weight is going to take effect for this item. So if you just have like somewhere L times H times W, anything more than 1728 is going to be affected by this, right?
A lot of times when you're entering your item specifics and you're putting in your shipping information, a lot of times when you're putting in something for priority, you don't necessarily have to put in your measurements, and you're choosing priority shipping, or depending on how your shipping profiles, your business policies are set up, you don't necessarily have to put in your dimensions. And sometimes if you're like me, you fudge the dimensions if you know that it's under a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you need to be conscious of when you're putting in larger items. This is where you're going to want to make sure that you have your dimensions put in there. And if you don't know what size box you're going to use, that's okay too. Just, you have your item in front of you generally when you're putting in dimensions. Just add a few inches all the way around for box size and put in your dimensions when you're putting your item in.
Yeah.
And if you don't know and you're trying to create a flat fee for your shipping, it's going to take you longer to do listings for a while, I think, on larger items. I think it's going to take some people a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to figure out what this is going to cost you. You're going to have to go into the shipping calculator, and you're going to have to figure out what the farthest zip code is away from you, what it's going to cost you for something of that dimension and that weight. That's really what you're going to have to do.
All right, so this is
and how, yes, Allison, Alaska and Hawaii, you are still screwed. There's no other way to say this, is I don't understand why it has become so astronomical to ship anywhere in this country. I really don't understand, especially because Katie and I were talking about this today, especially since almost everyone purchases things online these days. And I guess maybe that's part of the reason why they just can't keep up with the demands.
They'd be making all this money off of postage because so much stuff is being shipped instead of picked up across town. Anyway, so this is the bottom line, guys. If it's over a cubic foot, then they're going to take into account dim weight. That's dimensional weight, right? And the way you calculate dimensional weight, so you take your cubic inches, which is the side, the length times height times width is your cubic inches, and then you divide that by 166. And then you have to round up. So this is going to sound confusing, but in this instance, it's this number, 3024. That's the cubic inches for this particular size box, divided by 166. And that turns into 18.21. And you have to round it up. And so now your dim weight for this box is 19 pounds. Now,
do you need to understand all of these calculations? Not really. You need to have a general idea of why they're using this calculation and how to get there. You don't necessarily need to have all this math in your head. It's like the cubic shipping when we were trying to make you understand cubic shipping. It's not that you need to understand and do these mathematical calculations with everything. You don't need a mathematical degree to understand shipping. You just need to understand how you're going to get to these figures.
Yeah.
The biggest issue is that you need to know if your item is going to be bigger than 12 by 12 by 12 in a box.
Yeah. Then
you need to double check your measurements and your shipping cost. That's really it.
Chris says I have a spreadsheet to calculate all my box dimensions. My name is Chris and I'm a geek. Well, here's the thing. If let's say you regularly use specific size boxes, you could always have a little cheat sheet that just shows you what the dim weight is for each of those boxes. So basically the way this new pricing is going to work is your billable shipping rate is going to be whichever is higher, the dim weight or the actual weight. So for this box, the dimensional weight is 19 pounds. It doesn't matter if it's got 3 pounds of stuff in it, 11 pounds of stuff in it, 16 pounds of stuff in it, you are paying for 19 pounds to be shipped. That's just going to be the way it is. Now, if you fill it up and it weighs 25 pounds, you're paying 25 pounds. So it's whichever is higher.
And Kimberly asked, is this going to be applied to Amazon too or just eBay? It's going to be applied everywhere. This is a U.S. Postal Service increase. This is not an eBay increase. This is a U.S. Postal Service increase. So anywhere that you're paying shipping or anywhere that you're shipping something, this is where the increase, anywhere that you need to worry about paying for shipping, whether you're shipping merchant fulfilled on Amazon or you're shipping on, I don't know what other, any kind of platform, your own website, whatever, anywhere that you're using merchant fulfilled and you're shipping your own items and you're paying for shipping yourself, you need to worry about this because it has nothing to do with eBay. This is a U.S. Postal Service increase.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where I think eBay did a really good job with giving us a really simple graphic. And so basically what they're talking about, okay, let's say that you are shipping a pair of headphones. Let's say it's a pound or maybe even a little over a pound, not something you could put in a padded flat rate. If you put it into a box that's 16 by 12 by 8, that box, the dim weight's not applicable because it's less than a cubic foot. So it's just going to go by the weight and wherever it's shipping to, because they're talking about zone 8. So then you go next up in size, 12 by 12 by 12. Dim weight still not applicable because it's exactly equal to 1 cubic foot. So it's only stuff that's over a cubic foot. So guys, for you, those of you who are like confused about the whole math thing, I'm telling you, just write down on a piece of paper, dim weight, anything over 1728 cubic inches, and show like a little formula, length times width times height. Anything,
print this page out if you need to.
But anything, it's this number right here is key. Anything over 1728 cubic inches, then you have to worry about dim weight. Anything under that or the same as that, you don't. So again, $7.85 for the cost for shipping. But let's say you take that same.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Christiane, I'm assuming Mercari is going to also have huge increases because they're not going to be able to eat that much longer.
Okay, and then this last one, it shows, okay, now you put that same weight of item, but in this bigger box. So it weighs the same, but because of the size, all of a sudden you are shipping at a rate of 19 pounds. And so now it's going to cost you $53.65.
To ship
That's crazy.
A 1 pound item across the country, $54 almost.
Because now you're paying for 19 pounds because of the box. So now you're not going to send a pair of headphones and something like this, but what about a really big bulky quilt that weighs 6 pounds? That you can't really put in a smaller box. Now a 6 pound quilt is going to cost, you're going to have to pay $20 or for 19 pounds of stuff to go across the country.
Which I already do. So here's the thing. I sell a lot of blankets and I generally ship for free. And right now when I ship them across the country, I put them in a big poly bag and they're usually around 3 to 4 pounds, right? So if I ship something in a poly bag, it's bigger than pirate ships, right? So they're not available for cubic. It's 3 to 4 pounds shipping in a poly bag. It generally costs me about $15, just under $15 to ship something 3 to 4 pounds. Say I just shipped a blanket the other day to Massachusetts. It was 3 to 4 pounds from here. And it being in Nevada, we may as well be in California. So anything East Coast to we're West Coast. So West Coast to East Coast, it's zone 8. It's probably going to cost me at least double that now. So I need to, going forward, need to take into account every time I'm getting an offer, I need to know where my customer is for sure. I need to make sure I know where the offer is coming from. I need to add shipping charges on a lot of my items that right now don't have shipping charges. I'm not doing free shipping on heavy items any longer. I'm just not. I do a flat rate shipping. I've created business policies where I put in a flat rate shipping fee. Sometimes I put $15, sometimes I put $30, sometimes I put $50. It depends on what it is. And if it's something that sells close to me, I will accept a lower offer. And sometimes I make a little bit of money on the shipping. If it's something that ships far away from me, sometimes I lose a little bit of money, but usually it covers it. So It's been working for me. I've been doing that for the past 6 months or so, ever since we had the big rate increases. I have not seen a decrease in sales because of it. I won't do it on clothing and shoes because I still think people really need to see the free shipping for that, because it's such a competitive, oversaturated categories. But on other things, I've been doing it. So, I mean, you're really gonna have to play around and see what works for you.
Again, it's super, super important that you understand shipping costs, that you understand how much each item that you sell is gonna cost you to ship. So going back to Judy's question, we were talking about not using calculated shipping, especially when you're charging for shipping. You just need to know what is the maximum cost going to be for you to ship it. So if you have to ship it to zone 8, how much is that going to cost you? And then you figure out how to either build that into the price of your item, or how to price your shipping accordingly. So for instance, first class domestic shipping. First class, if you do calculated and you charge your buyers for shipping, it will automatically calculate at retail rates. And I think it also like bumps up into priority or something like that. So when you, let's say it's something I'm shipping to New York, if I charge for first class and I have calculated rates, it's going to show up as like $9 and something cents is going to be their cost for shipping a t-shirt. And that's nuts, because the reality is when you look at what our costs are, the most we're going to have to pay is like $5 and something cents. So what you would do is, if you're going to charge shipping, you would do a flat amount of, let's say, $5, because you know most of the time it's going to cost less than $5. Occasionally it's going to cost a little more than $5. And so when it comes to priority, you need to know, okay, I have a pair of shoes. The most it's going to cost me, these shoes can go cubic priority. The most it's going to cost me to ship across the country is just under $9. So either I can charge $8.50 for shipping, or I can do free shipping and make sure I add like $8.50, $9 into my cost. But if you do calculated shipping and you charge your buyers, if I'm shipping it to New York, it's going to come up as over $17 for that same item if it's like 3 pounds. So it's like, that's why calculated is such a bad idea when we're talking domestic. Now, international calculated is great. Domestic calculated, it overcharges your buyers, it overinflates your price, and it's going to make you lose sales.
Especially if you're living on one side of the country or the other. Middle, again, like we said, middle of the country, your rates don't look as bad to other people, because the zones are not the same. Cheryl, I may look into using vacuum bags on some of my bigger items. So here's the other thing. The other question someone asked. The other thing that I was talking about is not only do you want to try to make sure you have your dimensions in, or look at your shipping, you need to look into the other shipping options. Anybody that doesn't use FedEx for your heavier or larger items, you really need to look into it. eBay makes it available as one of your drop downs when you're using your shipping through eBay directly. eBay has a pretty good discount that they already give you for FedEx. Some people think, oh, they don't want to deal with it. FedEx does not pick up automatically at your home. So you're going to have to go and find a drop off. One thing that we've found is that most Walgreens locations do accept drop offs. So if you have a Walgreens near you, find out if they accept drop offs. If they do, great, go drop off. Because if that FedEx is going to save you $20 or $30 on a package, isn't it worth the drive or dropping off? Because it is for me. So look into doing FedEx home delivery and FedEx ground. Here's the thing. A lot of people complain that it doesn't come out of your PayPal account right away. It's added onto your eBay bill. So it's added onto your bill every month. So you've got to keep track. You've got to print out yourself a copy of your dimensions and your weight and make sure that you have everything entered into there correctly, because some people have said that they've had inaccuracies on their bill. Like, so they've been told that the label is going to cost $19.50 and it comes up and it's it's like $63 or something ridiculous like that. It has never happened to me in the hundreds of packages that I've shipped, but I've had people say it happens. When that happens, it's usually because you've entered a dimension in incorrectly, or you've entered the weight in incorrectly. And when they actually get it at the FedEx location, when they enter it in, they find a discrepancy, and then you're charged the actual amount. So take a chance and take a look into doing that. If you do a large volume of shipping of large, heavier items, call the FedEx number. Go to the FedEx account yourself. Go to FedEx.com, call, ask to speak to a rep, say you're looking into getting a business account. I have a business account. I have the same exact discount as eBay gets. I'm not a high volume seller. I think I'm grandfathered into whatever it is. It's like 20% off retail rates. It's not that big of a deal. Frankly, eBay should be getting way better rates than that. If you're a larger volume seller, you're going to get better rates than that. UPS is another one. If you're a large volume seller, you can get better UPS rates than what eBay offers through their portal.
Mary, Pirate Ship is not going to help with this at all, because the big savings for Pirate Ship is in cubic priority. So you're still going to save tons of money there. And in first class international using the simple export rate. That's where those are the two ways that you save tons of money with Pirate Ship. Their regular priority, and now with this dim weight stuff, it's not going to save you any more money. It's going to be about the same as eBay, if not like a tiny bit more. Their regular priority rates are a little bit higher than eBay's. So they're not going to be able to help us at all. So it's really just in the cubic priority and the first class international.
Well, yes, Christy, you can do FedEx pickups at your home, but they do have to be scheduled in advance, and there is a weekly fee. So in most cases, unless you are guaranteed that you're going to be shipping something FedEx every day, that's not going to be an option for most sellers, as in what we're talking about right here. So you need to you would need to know that for sure that you're going to be shipping every single day in order for it to be worth that weekly fee for them to pick up, and they would have a scheduled daily pickup, especially if you're shipping every day and you have like 1 day shipping. That's not going to work for you. So you want to find a drop-off location. Okay,
Pinky Pants, I do not believe that eBay is getting all of these discounted rates and they aren't passing along the discount to sellers. You got to understand, here's the thing. The thing is, those crazy discounts that Mercari and Poshmark supposedly has, they don't have some special discount that's better than what eBay has. They are counting on it all evening out. So if you buy a t-shirt on Poshmark, you pay what, $6.90? I don't know exactly what it is. Let's say $6.95. I know it's 6 something. If I buy a t-shirt on Poshmark, I have to pay $7 to have that t-shirt shipped to me. It does not cost $7 for it to ship to me. Poshmark is not paying the post office $7 for it to ship to me. They're paying them the $3 or $4, and then they're getting to keep the rest. They're pocketing that. But
so they're making up for it there.
Yes, on the items that weigh more, that would cost more than $7 to ship, it all balances out. It's just their way of really simplifying it, and it's caused this false concept, this false idea that Poshmark has this crazy good discount of shipping, and eBay must have it too. So they're just screwing us all and not giving us the savings. They're keeping it themselves. That's not true.
Pirate Ship is not getting any better rates. Pirate Ship just offers cubic shipping, where eBay doesn't offer cubic shipping. Those are two entirely different things. Cubic shipping is something that the U.S. Postal Service offers to commercial, lots of different commercial companies. For whatever reason, eBay doesn't have that contract with the Postal Service. I can't have an answer as to why they don't, but that's not a special discount. That's just a different service that they don't have for us. That is not a special service that Pirate Ship offers that other people don't have. That's not a special discount. Cubic shipping is a different service that is available through the Postal Service.
Now the simple export rate with the first class international, I don't even know how they do that. And the other thing with eBay and shipping with USPS, it's not eBay that's doing it. It's Pitney Bowes. It's a different company. It's a third-party company that they do their labels through. The Pirate Ship also uses Pitney Bowes. They both use the same company. Anyway, go ahead.
The biggest problem is that people think that eBay is a conduit. eBay's not getting your shipping money. eBay has a contract as a conduit through PayPal, through Pitney Bowes. And as Teresa mentioned earlier in the chat, maybe that will change, that they'll be able to negotiate better rates when PayPal is no longer part of eBay's equation. But as of right now, they're just a conduit. Like, they're not getting your shipping money. No. So people thinking that they're keeping that discount is not even possible, because that's not the contract that exists.
Yeah. But that comes from that mentality of somehow eBay's like trying to nickel and dime us, which they're a for-profit company.
They are in certain cases,
but there aren't like,
but not on the shipping,
hidden secret ways that they're doing it to us. They're doing it in plenty of other ways that are very transparent, that we can be angry and pull out our pitchforks over as much as we want. But yeah, and international, no, eBay charges about the same rates as other shipping companies charge for international. That's why I say I don't know how Pirate Ship was able to negotiate or do the whole simple export rate for first class international, because it is a huge, huge savings for anyone who is doing their own international shipping and you're using Pirate Ship. how huge of a savings you're getting. And that's not because eBay is keeping extra. It's because somehow Pirate Ship has done the impossible.
Yes, eBay does get a fee from you if you charge for shipping. eBay gets your 10% final value fee on your total sale price, your shipping and your, whether it's free shipping or you charge shipping, they're getting a 10% final value fee. That's the only fee that they get, period. Let's see. Yes, be careful with FedEx on big, heavy items. Yes, FedEx does have a dimensional weight charge on super heavy, super large items, oversized items. They do have a dimensional charge as well, but that is shown when you do your calculations. It will tell you.
Here's another idea when you're thinking about this whole dimensional weight thing. Maybe have a 12 by 12 by 12 box, empty box handy when you are, listing. And that way you'll be able to visually see, okay, I'm listing this item. It's smaller than this 12 by 12 by 12 box. So it's not going to be affected by this new way of calculating your rates. Or if you can visually see like, oh, I'm going to need a bigger box than this to be able to do this, then you're going to have to like figure out exactly what size box you're going to have to put it in. Because you really want to know this stuff. The more information you put into each listing, the easier it's going to be for you to deal with these kinds of changes in the future. Just ask Teresa what happens when you don't have proper weights on your 4,000 listings. How difficult does it make your life later on? Yeah. Just saying, Teresa.
Yeah.
Did you just roll your eyes at T-Money?
I did roll my eyes at T-Money.
So rude, so rude. Anyway, again, you should totally be using the Pirate Ship rates page for their calculator, just because it's going to give you a better idea if something is eligible for cubic priority, which eBay cannot do since they don't do cubic priority. So you should always know what the cheapest way is that you can send something. So Debbie Porter, oh, you went there. Anyway.
How does the dimensional weight work on poly bags?
You have to have a huge poly bag.
Yeah, you would have to be using the really, really big poly bags like I use for blankets for it to make a difference, because those bags are too big to be anything other than just by weight.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
Weight and size. So,
but if you are doing things like shipping blankets a lot and larger plush items, I think it was Chris or somebody was saying they were stocking up on vacuum sealer bags.
Oh, Cheryl. Like Cheryl said
Cheryl. You should definitely be looking into that, because those vacuum sealer bags, they cost a little bit of money, but if you are doing a lot of large quilts and blankets and stuff, I mean, it's crazy how much that can just like totally bring the size of it way down, and it's going to make a huge difference. So anyway, do you know how big your big poly bags are? They're pretty huge. Are they the same size as the one that Teresa had?
They're like 18 by 24 or something like that.
Are they the same ones that Teresa had?
They might be.
So she might. Teresa, what was
I bought them from I get them from you pack and ship.
Yeah. Teresa, what was the size of your poly bags that you were passing around at Open last year? Teresa says, in my defense, many of my listings have the wrong weight because mobile listing sucks. I will be the first to say, though, I don't have dimensions in my listings, but everything I sell is small.
Christiane just backed a comforter into 12 by 12 by 12. That's impressive.
That thing was about to bust.
That's good, though.
Cam says, no more free shipping. Yeah, not necessarily. For me, again, I'm not everybody, but for me, I can still do free shipping because everything I ship, almost everything I ship, can go either first class, padded flat rate, or cubic priority. I very rarely have anything that I have to ship for more than $10. And my average sale price is over $50, and a lot of things are much more than that. So for me, building in up to $10 of shipping cost into my price, super easy. Yeah. Not a big deal. Now I understand if you're selling $10 items, building a $10 shipping price into I mean, I get it. Whatever. It's up to everybody to figure it out for themselves. But does that mean no free shipping? No, it doesn't.
DJ, no. We're talking about the bigger items, so it's not going to affect anything that you've already been doing on smaller items. It doesn't affect your pirate ship for the smaller cubic items or for first class or anything like that. So this is just on the larger items, things that are larger than anything that's going to fit in a 12 by 12 by 12 box.
I will go ahead after the show and I will add links down below. I should have done this before, to the announcement and the page that shows all the stuff. But you should be able to find on your Seller Hub, on the main overview page, there's a place where it says announcements. And Teresa, maybe you could put that in that link in the chat again. You just need to go and look and read what it says and look at the visual aids that they give, because it really makes it super, super clear of what we're talking about. But no, you don't need to start using boxes. It's just talking about larger items and how they're changing.
I just answered that. Jamie, priority regional flat rate might work for some people. I personally never use the regional flat rate boxes, but again, I live on one side of the country, so depending on where you live, sometimes those work. They are absolutely never worth it for me.
Yeah, I think the middle of the country, it's like really, that's one of the places where it works.
Yeah, I actually have a couple cases of them I need to actually make the mail lady take back because they're just taking up space in my shipping station. I've never found that they've saved me money ever.
Yep. There, Teresa just put the link back in the chat for anybody who wasn't here before. Media mail does not affect media mail at all. This is just priority. We're only talking about priority. Media mail with books, that goes by weight. And the thing is, this is more the post office being concerned about lighter weight items that take up a lot of space. And if anything, books are not lighter weight items. They're very heavy. And so when they're looking at priority, they're talking about anything you're shipping that's over a pound, but not like super heavy, but it takes up a lot of space. So like they were talking about like a pillow or like a big blanket. That's where you have to be concerned. Books, media mail, no problem.
As Teresa said, regional rates get trumped by cubic just about every time in every area. You really should be checking your cubic pricing because those regional rate boxes are not very large.
Yeah.
And cubic pricing is almost always better. But
yeah,
Allison. Poor Allison in Alaska. I love you, honey. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Some of the board games are going to be really expensive to ship. I agree with you, Barb. Some of the board games are going to be expensive. It really depends on the type of box you're going to be able to fit them in. I will say I have found the best luck, again, going coast to coast. I found the best luck in bubble wrapping my board games, securing the contents, bubble wrapping them real tight, and then I put them in a poly bag. I don't even box them. I try to cut that extra pound to pound and a half off by putting them in a box. I have not had any complaints yet. I have not had any damaged boxes. And usually I can get them coast to coast for about $12 or so. That may change, but I don't think that's going to be too bad with dimensional weights because it's long, but they're only like 8 to 10 inches wide and they're only like 3 or 4 inches high. So I think when you start doing those calculations, you're going to be okay because it's not, you're not going to be too far. I don't think you're going to be over that big cubic.
Chris is telling Allison she needs to move. But here's the thing, Chris. I don't know if you saw it. So Allison, did you save that your unbagging video to your stories? I think you did. So if she did an unbagging yesterday. It was her first live unbagging on Instagram. And when you do those live videos and then you share it on your channel or whatever you want to call it, your profile on Instagram, it basically saves to your stories for 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So it was yesterday afternoon. So guys, after the show, you should totally go check out Big Drift Thrift on Instagram because she did an unbagging of one of their rag bags that she gets regularly in Alaska, and this is the trade-off for the crappy shipping
having
options.
To snowshoe everywhere in the winter.
It's like $3 for a rag bag, and like half, if not more, of the t-shirts were vintage. And I'm like, what in the F is going on, man? Because it was like really good. And she's like, oh, Salvation Army does them too, but they're $5. I don't want to spend that much. And I'm like, and is it the same kind of stuff? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I've been working on it, and I need some help from you guys to bug her. I really think she needs to do some reseller boxes, because if she can regularly get these $3, $5 rag bag bags filled with t-shirts where mm-hmm. half of them, if not more, are awesome vintage t-shirts, I think she needs to be sharing the love with all of us, and she can make a little money doing it. So come on, guys.
Elizabeth Taylor asked, is media mail by size ever? I think it's a combination of the two, but I don't think it has dimensional size issues. Media mail is generally just by weight.
I mean, usually you're not going to be like sending a box of books that's so huge that's oversized, because it would weigh like
you wouldn't want to.
You wouldn't want to.
The box would break.
Box it like that. So I don't think it's ever an issue. Anyway, yeah, you guys should totally watch that video.
Enrique, I found some great stuff and said the thrift gods have shined upon me. My wife looked at me weird. I said, Katie would understand. I almost got put in the doghouse. That's funny.
Awesome. Thrifting nomads, off topic. How do I get a framed photo? of Teresa T Money.
Apparently, you just need to ask people to send you photos.
Well,
We didn't get too many of them.
I framed it, but T Money, Teresa, I really think because I'm assuming Thrifty Nomads, you guys are definitely going to be here for open. I would assume since you're only over in California.
You better be.
But Teresa, I think you probably need to bring some copies of your headshot because I guarantee you there will be
you're going to need to autograph them and hand out headshots.
I'm telling you, people will want that. Okay, I think it'll be awesome. And if you don't do it, I will because of you, but pictures of you, not me. Because that, and I really hope is Frenchie's coming, right?
Yes,
she better be. Okay, I'm gonna tell Frenchie that she has to do the same thing because everybody needs their own Frenchie and T Money headshot.
eBay cubic shipping, would that apply to Pirate Ship? I'm not sure what your question is. Pirate Ship is the only one of the only places that you can do cubic shipping right now.
Yeah, eBay doesn't do cubic.
eBay doesn't do cubic shipping. If you're talking about this new dimensional change, that's just the increase based on the size. That's not considered.
It's a little confusing because they're talking about cubic inches when they're talking about this dim weight calculations, but that's not the same thing as cubic priority shipping. So it's a little bit confusing, but Pirate Ship is the best place to do. I mean, it's the best place to do cubic priority just because they make it super easy.
Christiane, we don't know if the cubic rates on Pirate Ship are increasing or not yet. They are going to.
No, they're not this year.
They're not increasing this year.
I asked them specifically. I said, "Are there any changes happening with cubic priority shipping this year?" And they said, "No. That generally happens in January. This new thing that's going to be happening in June with dim weight stuff is not the typical thing. It's just happening in the middle of the year, but there are no plan changes for cubic priority costs as of this year. We'll find out at the end of the year what increases might happen next year, but it's not going to be new.
Okay. So yeah. So let's see. There's another question there that I saw. Does dim weight also apply to Parcel Select? Yes, it applies to Priority and Parcel Select.
So Thrift in the Mitten says we'll be paying higher shipping on boxes of inventory we buy off of eBay or other sellers. I mean, potentially. I buy, my guy that I buy from.
Unless you tell your seller to ship using FedEx.
Here's the thing. So the guy that I buy from has a connection at FedEx. So he gets like some crazy discounts. So his shipping costs are actually way less than any of ours. So I don't see that being a problem. It just depends on how people ship because like I bought that box last week and it was a large flat rate box. So that's not changing. It's only if you're getting enormous boxes of stuff, but you would probably just want to keep stuff under the, and plus if you're buying a bulk box, it's usually going to be heavier. It's not, this is really going to affect more dramatically lighter weight boxes that are still priority, but have to go in giant boxes. So Angela Myers, what's going on? $10 super chat. She says, thank you to both of you. You guys are all love and light. Things are going very well via your help and advice. This is just a love note for you two bosses. XOXO. Angela, I hope things are going well for you. Angela's actually in the Salem area. I think she's like in Dallas, Oregon, but she does her thrifting in the Salem area, which is where my hunting grounds used to be. And so she's killing it over there. And let me tell you, she's awesome. She's doing really well. Angela, I think that once you get your inventory built up, you are going to be crushing it like nobody's business. You got it. You got the right attitude. So thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Do a super chat song.
Oh, sorry. Super chat. Super chat. She's super chatting. Yo. Okay. You asked for it. Seriously. Anyway, Angela,
let's
congrats.
See. DJ asked, if I mail the game board in a poly bag, am I required to add the thickness or just the two side? Well, because it's a game board, it actually isn't, it doesn't fit the cubic shipping. It's too big for cubic. I just because I mail it in a poly doesn't mean it fits cubic dimensions. It's generally too long for it to fit cubic. So I just put regular dimensions in. So yes, it's going to force you. If you try to do it on Pirate Ship, it will force you. It's going to tell you that the side, it's too long and you're going to have to put the third dimension.
Yeah, pretty much. But some board games would potentially fit in a smaller, into like a poly bag that would.
Yeah, smaller ones would, yeah.
So it just depends. Yeah.
So Chris says, so again, I'll suggest Macari. You can use their pack and ship option for up to 10 pounds, regardless of size. for $30. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, so if you're buying from other sellers, that might be a good thing to do. I don't use Mercari. I don't have a Mercari account, but I do use FedEx for everything. So generally speaking, you can get 10 pounds shipped for far less than $30.
Yeah, so Jen says, I don't have dimensions in any of my listings. I just put a price for shipping. Do I need to go in and add all those all on my listings? Okay, it depends. The very, 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 very best thing you can possibly ever do, if you were going to do everything right at all times, is you list something, you put in an accurate weight, you put in your accurate dimensions of what's going to be like when it ships, and then that way you're never going to be in the dark. The reality for me, because of what I sell and what I ship, it's not as important that I have dimensions, because I don't have anything that's ever going to be considered oversized to where it's going to change the price, because I sell, I mean, 3/4 of what I have is under a pound, because I sell a lot of t-shirts and a lot of items that are just less than a pound. She didn't ask
about you. She asked
I
about
know,
her.
but I don't know what she sells.
If you sell the answer is, if you sell hard goods, or if you sell items that are bigger than clothing or shoes, yes,
you should.
You need to go in and edit, and you should put your dimensions in, because you need to know what your options are. You need to know whether you're doing calculated shipping. If you live in the middle of the country, maybe calculated shipping might be the way to go for you. But if you don't live in the middle of the country, then you really need to go in and reassess your larger items by putting your dimensions in, and figure out whether you should be putting a flat rate in there, or you should be bumping up your price and putting in free shipping and knowing what it's going to cost you, or you should be putting a flat shipping rate in and knowing that you have other options to ship, whether it's using flat rate shipping, using FedEx, UPS, whatever it may be, to get your cost down. But if you live in California and you're shipping something 3 pounds that is big to New York, and you have calculated shipping in there, you are not going to sell it.
Yeah.
You're not going to sell it. You're going to have a shipping cost that looks like $60-something to somebody in New York for a jacket, and they're never going to buy it from you, and they're going to think you're insane because you have a $65 shipping charge, because it can ship many, many other ways rather than you having it calculated and it showing that it's going that way. So this little reality check here is that you need to educate yourself on the other options available to you to dial in how to get your shipping costs down. You need to dial in how to make your listings look more appealing to buyers, because what's going to happen, you're going to lose those sales to the more educated and more savvy, more shipping savvy sellers, because the sellers that know how to make their listings look attractive to buyers that have that know how to make those listings look better, and they have better shipping options, they're going to sell their items, and yours are going to sit there, and you're going to wonder why, oh, my item is priced so well, why isn't it selling? Because the person in New York that might have bought your item just saw that it said $60 shipping, went, screw that, I'm not buying that.
Exactly. A couple of really important announcements. Susan Sanders just discovered in the newspaper that Green Valley Ranch, which is right down the street from here, is going to be showing ET for free on June 29th.
I guess I know what we're going to be doing. Date night.
June 29th, ET for free. I'm pretty excited about that. Other breaking local news. Corey says that on her side of town, it is pouring.
Ugh.
I think I hear, is that wind or rain? It might be
raining. That's rain.
It might be raining here. Is our stuff getting soaked outside?
It could be.
Oh boy. Thrift Trader.
Jason Deason.
What? Says, I'm just here to start a super chat storm and show my love to y'all. See you in Vegas. What? What I want to know, Jason, is how long is your beard going to be when you come to Vegas? Last year, did he even have a beard, or did he just have like some stubble?
He was still pretty clean shaven.
A little stubbly.
And then he decided to quit his job and become a full-time reseller, and now he looks like the wild man of the.
He's like Grizzly Adams.
Yes, he looks like a wild man now. And are you bringing your beautiful wife? That's what we want to know.
Anyway, yeah, you better be. So Jason's been doing all kinds of awesome stuff. He's been doing lots of.
Oh yeah, he started his YouTube channel way after ours, and he's grown way bigger than us.
He's killing it.
Because he's doing all these like storage war auction.
Well, no, he's doing the storage stuff, but now he's also doing the their new show that they've been doing called Dumpster. Was it Dumpster Wars?
Yeah, and now they're also doing like
ridiculous
reseller. Like,
my question.
I don't even know.
My question is, when are you actually reselling stuff, Jason? Because
yeah, when do you have time to list?
Because you're sourcing like 5 bazillion things a week.
You and Wade both. When do you have time to list?
And making 500 hours of YouTube videos every week. I don't know how you're making it happen, but congrats. So anyway, we missed a bunch of stuff here. Anyway, just like to give you a little shit, Jason. But thank you. Yeah, see, Laura's been watching his shows and stuff. So yeah, definitely check out his channel. Hands down, finger up, date night. Wait, that sounds wrong.
Sandra, that sounds bad.
Sandra, so here, listen, you might be the only one that cares about this, but I started giggling to myself like loudly, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was just like sitting there like giggling. I couldn't stop giggling. And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I thought of a t-shirt idea." And she's like, "Oh no." And so I thought it'd be real funny if we had a t-shirt that was ET going like this, and it said, "Hands down, finger up, Katie and Vicky aren't horrible."
The only person that would get it would be Sandra.
And I'm like, I'd wear it. Sandra would wear it. Who else matters? I think it'd be pretty awesome. So funny. Oh, Jason says he'll be chopping his beard right before Vegas.
Oh, nice. You can look like a nice young boy again. So mountain
You're going to lose like 20 years with that. With
mountain man.
Shaving that beard right off. That's awesome. See, Sandra says she'd wear it. Sonny, whichever finger you want, but ideally the ET finger. Anyway, it's noon now. What do you have planned for the rest of the day?
I have to put away all the crap that I've just recently listed in the last 2 days that is like lying in the living room and it needs to be put away because it's driving me crazy. So I'm running out of room, guys.
Yeah. We have an upcoming project where I have to, the racks that I built for her, and I had, if you watch the very, very first videos that I put up, I show how I made like the pipe racking in the garage when I was moving here. So for hers, I have it in 2 sections, and there's one section that's just a high pipe, so it's stuff that's long that can hang, and then the other side it's double racks. And on my side of the garage, it's all double racks. Well, she's run out of room. And so we decided that we need to convert the other side into a double rack, which means I have to get new fittings and pipes and stuff. And then, but the worst part of it is, because taking it apart and putting it back together is not that big of a deal. The worst part of it is having to take everything that's on those racks off.
Take hundreds and hundreds of items off the racks and put them somewhere.
So Friday we're going to be picking up the stuff that we need, and then Sunday after Sunday show, I'm actually going to be doing that, so that should be lots of fun.
Yeah, Bridget, we have considered renting a storage space. The reality is that because we ship so much and we sell so much, I personally do not want to have to make a trip to storage every single morning to pull my items. That's really, that's the reason why I've been holding off on it. I like having my inventory all under the same roof. Going somewhere every day to pull inventory, it sounds awful to me. It's little about the cost and more about because right now we have everything. We have a 2.5 car garage. Everything is stored there, and we are really maximized the hell out of that space. But right now we have 5,000 items between the two of us, and everything is there.
I only take up a third of the garage, and I have enough room for my stuff right now. So it's just one of those things that, like, yeah, you can get storage space, but then you have to add in the cost, the inconvenience, all the stuff. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing this weekend.
And the first thing that we do every morning is ship. So it's like, okay, now I'd have to shower and start doing everything else before I go to the storage unit, and like, because I'm not leaving the house without a shower, so that's not happening. Because you'd run into everybody you know.
Anyway, so, and then the other thing I'm doing today, as soon as we get done with the show, I'm actually going to go down. I have everything prepped. I'm going to be taking pictures of all the rock t-shirts, guys. All the rock t-shirts that I got this week from Barry, aka Afro Vintage. Let me tell you, it's going to be crazy. I'm going to get all the photographs today. I'm going to get most of those listed probably tomorrow. Maybe a few of them tonight. There is one particular t-shirt, and I've talked about this a little bit, but I'm going to save this for Sunday. There's one particular t-shirt. I'm going to be telling the story on Sunday. I'm going to be going live with an auction for this one t-shirt during our Sunday show, because then the following week, I'm going to do a 7-day auction. The following week, it will end during the live show. I'm going to start this auction at 1,000. Now, there's a chance that it won't actually sell for 1,000. I don't know, but I think there's potential. I want to start. I don't want to start too low. If it doesn't go at all, then I'll just list it. But I'm going to start it at 1,000. I think there's a possibility that this one t-shirt that I have, that I got in that haul, is gonna could go for thousands.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a crazy story to it. It's a really cool story. It's super
super
rare, not a mass-produced t-shirt. And so I'm going to do that during the Sunday show. I'm going to start it. I'm also going to be showing all of those rock t-shirts I got during the Sunday haul. It's the only haul I'm going to be showing is those t-shirts. And then we'll start that auction. And then the following week, you guys get to watch it.
Jamie, just send it to me. Yeah, I know you want it. I know you want it, Jamie.
But we'll end, the auction will end during the next week's Sunday live haul. So it should be super fun because we'll get to see how disappointed I am, or it's going to be crazy exciting.
So no, somebody asked, do we have a basement? No, there are no basements here in Nevada, no basements and no attics. So the only storage that's available is garage storage. We could build a shed. That's actually, we've discussed that. We may be doing putting a shed up in the backyard. We can do it as long as it doesn't have a fixed foundation. We can put one up.
Yeah, that's the other possibility. And then she's like, well, what would we even put in there? And I'm like, you have plenty of hard goods that could go in a shed.
I know, but it's not the hard goods that I'm running out of room for. I'm running out of room for clothing.
We could do clothing out there too.
I don't want, that's too close. The elements. I don't want it in the elements.
We will figure it out. We will figure it out, guys. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta hire a guard for the shirt. Definitely there'll be some insurance paid bought when I send that. But I gotta go. I'm gonna get those t-shirts, photographs and stuff. I'm gonna start listing them, the majority of them, over the next day or so. So if you can't wait till Sunday to see the haul, you can always check out my eBay because I will be having those up for sale the next day. Not the one that's gonna be going for auction, but anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Love y'all.
Thanks for the
this
super
was a fun
chat,
show.
guys.
Really appreciate it.
Hopefully we were able to shed some light on the changes. Just go back and review it as you need to. Go right to your seller hub, print out the information. Honestly, eBay gave you some concise information about it. You are going to need to know how it's going to affect your business and figure out the changes you need to make it work for you. You need to be one of the educated sellers that knows how to offer the best options to your buyers. You need to have that edge. There are so many lazy sellers out there. Don't be one of those lazy sellers. Get the edge and make your sales last and make yourself a step above so that you can have more sales and make more money and put more money in your pocket.
Yep, absolutely. Preach it.
That's it.
Bye.
Bye.